Ethan go next, because I know, Ethan, I know you have a lot to say about this, but here we go. This is explaining the tariffs.
President Trump is pressing ahead with a new round of tariffs today after really a devastating ruling from the Supreme Court that determined his sweeping emergency trade duties are illegal. This morning, the president announcing on social media that he's raising worldwide tariffs to 15% after signing a 10% global tariff order late Friday. And today, the president continues to lash out at the Supreme Court, calling its 6-3 court decision on his signature economic policy extraordinarily anti-American. I want to bring in CNN's Julia Benbrook, who joins us now live from the White House. So, Julia, what do we know about these tariffs and the president's plans moving forward?
Yeah, Omar, when the Supreme Court ruled yesterday that President Donald Trump violated federal law when he unilaterally imposed sweeping tariffs across the globe, which is, of course, a key part of his agenda during the second term, he made it very clear that he was not happy, and he doubled down. In fact, he announced that he was imposing a 10% additional tariff on top of levies already in place, and it could be enacted using this different law referred to as Section 122, and that could be temporarily in place for up to 150 days. Then it would need congressional approval to go more long term. But as you mentioned this morning, he announced that he was going to raise that rate even higher. I want to pull up his social media post for you now. In it, he said, in part, I, as President of the United States of America, will be effective immediately, raising the 10% worldwide tariff on countries, many of which have been ripping the U.S. off for decades without retribution until I came along, to the fully allowed and legally tested 15% level. Now, the executive order that he signed for the 10% tariff did say that it would go into effect early Tuesday. So we have reached out for the White House for any clarification on the timeline with this 15% rate, if it would remain the same. But he has been lashing out at the justices who ruled against him. We saw two justices that he appointed, Justice Amy Coney Barrett as well as Justice Neil Gorsuch. They joined Chief Justice John Roberts and the three liberal justices in the majority opinion. And during his press conference yesterday, Trump said that he was deeply disappointed and ashamed of some of those justices. When he was pressed on the two that he appointed specifically, he had some strong words. Take a listen.
Are you surprised in particular by their decision today? And do you regret nominating them?
I don't want to say whether or not I regret. I think their decision was terrible. Yeah. I think it's an embarrassment to their families. You want to know the truth, the two of them.
And then on the flip side of that.
So, Ethan, are the tariffs hurting Americans? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's the most obvious layup argument in the world. The tariffs, it's just a tax.
Is he frozen on your side?
He's frozen on my side as well.
Yeah, he's frozen on mine.
Ethan Klein is down.
Oh no. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, wait. Ethan, are you back?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're just frozen. Maybe you should just turn off your camera real quick. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
You're
now.
still frozen.
My internet hiccuped for a second. I'm gonna refresh the page. Is that okay?
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna have Mia go while you refresh, okay?
For sure. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mia, what's your thoughts? Are tariffs bad for us?
Targeted tariffs can be great when it comes to certain industry. We did it in the 70s and 80s when it came to the auto industry. That's how we have Toyota and Subaru plants here employing Americans, because it is beneficial for us in certain ways, especially with steel and certain industries that benefit us because we have the mines here and we can make it here ourselves. However, complete blanket tariffs is just a shadow insidious way of a consumption tax on Americans. And now we have a bunch of companies who essentially are getting paid twice because they're entitled to refunds, right? So these companies pay tariffs and then they pass that tax along to the American consumer who then pays it. And then now they're going to get a refund, potentially. I'm sure they'll end up with a refund. So now they're getting paid twice because Americans have already paid for the product. And then they're also going to get a refund of the tariffs that they paid. So they're getting paid twice now. right? There is nothing stating that the American citizens are getting extra in our tax return to compensate for the fact that we physically paid at the end of the line for the tariffs, right? So at the end of the day, corporations are going to win out even more than what they already have. And it's just a very insidious thing at this point in time. And then not to mention the architect of these tariffs, Howard Lutnick, his sons who operate Cantor Fitzgerald actually purchased the rights to these tariff refunds already. So if you can imagine, that's a pretty big conflict of interest. We have the Secretary of Commerce who comes up with this idea, and then his children, who he obviously converses with probably on the daily, knows that this is going to happen. And then in turn, they tell these companies and they say, hey, let me give you 20 or 30% from the tariffs that you just paid. I'll take this rebate. I'll give you this rebate. I'll give you this money, and I'll take the rights of any future earnings of refunds. So they did that. So now Cantor Fitzgerald owns millions upon millions, if not billions of dollars now in refunds from the federal government, which is directly going to impact Howard Lutnick, who is the architect of these tariffs. So have we seen the full picture? Americans get screwed twice. Corporate profits go up. They get two separate refunds. And then our Secretary of Commerce, his family becomes $150 billion richer because they bought the rights to a lot of these tariff refunds way before this even hit the Supreme Court, which for me lets me know that Howard Lutnick knew what he was doing was wrong. He knew that it wasn't going to last, and he positioned himself and his children to benefit from this. Again, it's just crony capitalism as we've seen.
For sure. Ethan, are you here?
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, we can't. Yeah, we still can't see you, but you can go ahead and give. Yeah, just turn your camera off and you can give your answer because we can't see you.
Oh, hate to see it.
I
Yeah.
know.
So with the tariff situation here, it's super obvious that he was abusing IEPA, and this was recently challenged on day one. If you know anything about the history of IEPA and the Trading with Enemies Act, the idea that Trump could unilaterally impose global tariffs at whatever rates that he wanted at whatever time is just insane. In fact, the fact that any of these Supreme Court justices disagreed with striking down.
Oh no, we lost him. Is it me?
I just sent him a message if you want to take him down.
Okay, because I can't hear him.
Yeah, he completely cut out.
Oh, Ethan.
That's crazy.
Yeah, now I can hear you.
I don't know what's happening. Like, my internet seems to be fine, but I guess not.
Are you on a laptop or a phone?
No, I'm on my computer.
Are you using Chrome?
I am.
You might need to restart.
Yeah, what kind of internet you got, bro?
Usually,
that Biden
good.
Wi-Fi.
I've never had an issue like this before on Discord.
That new combo shit.
Censored.
Yeah. The Trump admin's on to me. Shit.
Yeah, Ethan, try doing it from your phone and come back in because, like, we notice that sometimes on certain laptops it's not good.
Okay, I got you.
Just connect the cord to the camel's ass. It'll get a better connection.
Sounds good. All right, we'll try. Third time's a charm, y'all.
Okay, thank you. Okay, guys, I'm gonna play this clip. This is supposedly Trump's getting sued by FedEx. Let's watch.
Breaking news coming into us now. Tariff fallout, if you will, with FedEx now suing the Trump administration. They basically want a refund after the Supreme Court's tariff ruling. There's some legalese we'll show you here. Basically, FedEx says that since the justices decided those so-called reciprocal tariffs on pretty much any country are illegal, the administration owes them money. Gabe Gutierrez is joining us now. Presumably big bucks, Gabe. What do we know? I know this is just coming into us and we're kind of just getting a chance to sift through this here, but it's interesting.
Yeah, that's right, Hallie. Look, FedEx had recently said in an earnings call that these tariffs would cost the company basically $1 billion in 2026. So this is that was part of their earnings report. So this is very significant. But yes, we're just starting to read through this lawsuit. In this lawsuit, FedEx says that it paid IEPA duties to the United States and thus have suffered injury caused by those orders. Now, Hallie, this all really speaks to a huge question that we have following President Trump's, well, first following the Supreme Court ruling on Friday, but then also President Trump's news conference on Friday. That now that the Supreme Court ruled that these specific tariffs, these retaliatory tariffs, these IEEPA tariffs were illegal. How would the U.S. go about paying these back? And right now, we don't have a significant answer from the Trump administration. They're basically waiting to see how this all plays out in court. Now, the Trump administration was certainly waiting for lawsuits to come. This, of course, the first major lawsuit that we're now seeing here on Monday. We're out to the White House, don't have a comment yet from White House officials as to this latest to this lawsuit, but certainly this could be the first of many to come, and we don't have a strong answer of what the administration is going to do here, Hal.
We thank you for watching.
Andre, are tariffs legal, and are you surprised that FedEx is suing the Trump administration?
Well, this is what you get when your corporations are not loyal to the nation. They're loyal to their profits and loyal to their own gains. This is why we need to nationalize these industries and push for unionization across various different industries. We need to have that. But when it comes to the tariffs, I have to agree. Having these blanketed tariffs is weak. It was never going to work. If you're not going to penalize these companies for going overseas and shipping these jobs over and fucking over normal Americans, if you're not going to penalize them, then there's no point of having the tariffs. The tariff should be coupled with the penalty on these corporations, and then also incentivizing people to build and to grow and expand within these industries. But they're not going to do that, and it's just a show at this point. The Republicans have had the last 2 years to do everything. They've had both the House and the Senate, of course, very slim majorities, and the presidency, along with the Supreme Court, and they've done nothing. So this is why they're going to get killed in the midterms, and I completely have no faith in them anymore. They've lost all respect and all control, and they're going to get exactly what they deserve. I'm going to be sheltered from it. I'm not going to care. I'm going to sit back and like I told you so. And this is why I say, as much as I didn't like Kamala was disgusting and horrible and would have been a horrible president, it would have been good for the right to have gotten ass kicking in 2024, because we would have came back 2028 or maybe even 2020, coming in 2026, 2027, a lot better. But now we're going to have to, take the blunt and the pain, and it is what it is. So we'll see what happens when it comes to this. I mean, he's going to put on the new round of global tariffs, and I think that's the end of it. But this is what he gets for half-assing it all these months. Going back and forth, we're going to put the tariffs on and we're going to take it up. I talked to Canada, they don't want it. Nigga, just do it. If you're serious about it, if you campaigned on it like you said you were going to do it, just do it. Don't sit back and, we're going to just put the tip in for this time and then we'll come back and have a discussion. Like, come on, are you going to fuck or you're not going to fuck? I mean, that's all I got to say. And Trump seems like he's half fucking the entire time.
Ethan, now you look much better. So it's working now. It's not a conspiracy. Do you agree with what Andre said? What's your thoughts? Should we nationalize, unionize things? What do you think? Uh-oh, can he hear me?
Now he can't hear, but he can see. Either. Oh, he's muted.
Ethan, can you hear us?
Just skip him and go back to him.
I'm going to go to Kimberly. Kimberly, I love your face. It's so beautiful. But you made a face when Andre said nationalize and unionize. What do you think? Are you surprised hearing that as a lefty?
Yeah, you're talking to an anarcho-syndicalist right here. I'm all for that. Let's do that for sure. 100%. Where'd that guy go?
He said he can't hear you. Coming back. Yeah, keep going. It's your turn, love.
Oh, okay. The Trump tariffs. Sorry. Yeah, so I disagree with Trump tariffs with certain industries, especially when they affect industries like with the farmers right now. And depending on how the lawsuit goes with FedEx, what we really need to do is make stronger unions and also reverse a lot of these disastrous trade deals. Sorry, I'm a little sick and my throat's a little dry. But it's these disastrous trade deals that actually have decimated the middle class. But the way to grow the middle class is through enforcing labor unions. I'm so sorry, my throat's really dry.
It's okay. You
Girl,
could
get some water.
Get some water. Ethan's back if you want to take a moment. Ethan, can you hear us now? Oh no.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Wait, I just unplugged my thing here.
Oh, here we
and now
go.
I can hear you
Okay,
guys.
great.
Yeah,
Okay.
the internet.
Totally sucks.
Yay. Where's the okay?
Yeah, it was
All
working
right,
just fine, but I
Ethan.
just couldn't hear you guys. I don't know what was up with that.
Oh man, you missed Andre's part. Andre said that he believes in unionizing and nationalizing companies in response to FedEx suing over tariffs. But keep going.
I actually heard Andre's perfectly,
Okay.
and it was right. It was actually right when you started talking. After he finished, that's why I couldn't hear. I don't know what happened with that, but yeah, no. Nationalizing the industry completely misses the whole point of Trump's tariffs because he says it's about bringing back manufacturing. But that's a total lie. It's not for the American people. It's the way he can unilaterally strong arm other countries, right? You know, that's why he's arbitrarily setting tariffs and for countries that do things that he wants, and he'll set them higher for countries that he that do things that he doesn't want. So, like for example, maybe we all know about the $1.5 billion deal for a private Trump golf resort in Vietnam, and then he lowered their tariffs, right? Like that's just the most corrupt thing in the freaking world. So it's not about manufacturing. It's not about the United States. It's just about him strong arming other countries. It's blatantly corrupt.
Damn.
A quick question: is it just strong arming for his own personal game, or you just don't like when the United States does it?
I would argue that it's for his personal gain, and maybe that could be in the form of a private Trump resort or in the form of looking good for the United States. But yeah, it's going to be for his own self-interest.
Not just him.
I agree with that. Yeah, donors, and we know who those donors are. We can't say who they are, but they come from a certain tribe. So we're just going to say that they benefit the most out of it. We're going to be very edgy tonight. We're going to be very